An aquarium. Relaxing sounds, fun sights. You ever started daydreaming or have your mind wander while doing something? Maybe watching a fish tank or driving? See, in our brains we have a default network that becomes active during simple tasks. But our executive network, that's the one. The executive network can also kick in. You ever tried to remember a name or something and you could not remember it for the life of you? But maybe when you're driving or doing some mundane task, all of a sudden it pops in your head. Or maybe you have a deep thought while seemingly daydreaming. That's your executive network. It's kicking in. I do that all the time while I'm driving. For instance, I think one of my first exposures to death was Charlotte's Web. Yeah, I know, it's an animated cartoon. Talking bugs, talking animals. But when that spider climbed back up on top of that wood and languished, never to talk to Wilbur again, it really cut me deep. It really got to me. Even today, it still gets to me. But then I think of kids today, and we got the zombie apocalypse, and all the blood and exposure, and oh, Glenn's dead, Glenn's dead, Glenn's dead! Seriously? Where's our nation going? I don't know. I was driving to work the other day. I passed a sign. It said, "Deer slugs sold here." And I thought, that is awesome. I want to get a deer slug for myself. How about you? You know, one of the cool things about wandering and thinking and imagining, on the way to work one day, I passed this old homestead. It's probably been there maybe 100 or so years, and they turned it into a county park. And I thought, you know, 100 years from now, are they going to turn a condominium into a park? And it's going to say, this is where the family lived and ate and slept. They did many, many, many things, but had very little to show for it. Yeah, I don't know. One day, me and my wife were driving in the car, and she had a candy bar she opened. She says, "Hey, can you eat part of this for me?" I was like, okay, I gotta let you know, this is not a full-size candy bar. It's for reference, demonstration purposes only. And it's kind of hard to see. She says, "Can you eat half of this for me?" I was like, okay, give me that. Yum, 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 yum. And I gave it back to her. I had ate the top half off of it. She said, "That's not what I meant." But you know, that's where my brain goes sometimes. You know what else gets me? One of those boxes of cereal. You know ones I'm talking about. Box of cereal. You get a hold of it, and you look at it, and the bowl's the size of your head. It's got cereal on there. Oh yeah, look at that cereal. The cereal bites are ginormous. And in little tiny print, way at the bottom, it says, "Enlarged to show texture." I don't need to know what the texture is. I already know it's grainy. It says right there in big words, whole grain. How about one of the questions that's plagued mankind for a century? Why do we park in a driveway and drive in a parkway? I don't know. Now I got to show you some of my favorite things here. This is an old picture back from the 1800s. So many things today are fake or seem not what they really are. But you look at these people's faces. You think someone was there telling them, "Smile"? No. They laid it out on the line how it was and how it is. They said, "Boy, if you come at me with that flaming ball of powder anymore, I'm going to jump up out the seat and whoop up on you." But you know what? Just because they look like this doesn't mean they didn't have a good life. Doesn't mean they weren't happy. doesn't mean they weren't content. I got another one right here. Now you see on the bottom it says Stevens, and actually on the back of this, McVickers Theater Building, Chicago. Now I looked this up. This was in the phone book in 1890. These kind of pictures are called cabinet pictures or cabinet cards, and they're made out of a thick cardboard stock, and they would put them under cabinets and decorate them. Now, something like this in the 1890s would cost you about $2 for a dozen. $2 for a dozen of them. You may say that's pretty cheap, but if you include inflation for today, that would be about $52 of our money for 12 pictures. That's pretty steep. So that was a pretty hefty investment. This guy invested $52 of his hard-earned money on this picture. You think he's happy? I'm sure he was. Look at them clothes. Those are fancy clothes. He says, look at me, world. I got $52 to spend on something I don't even really need to help support my life. And look at his face. He wasn't fake. That's how he was. So what I'm saying is, so many things today are not really what they seem. Such as this here fish tank. It's just a TV. It don't really matter though. It serves a purpose. It makes me happy. So many things today are not really what they appear. Now, in the words of the Joker, why so serious? Let's put a smile on that face. Thank you. Have a good day.